Hi friends, my name is Jake and welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at the CJRB Gobi. It's model number J1906, G10 handles, D2 steel, upswept blade, and it's got aluminum accents on the pivot ring. They are aluminum, and the backspacer is aluminum. Same color orange on all four colors of G10. I haven't memorized the different colors. You've got this blue-gray, this black, and two others that you'll see right now. By the way, I recorded this before I left for my trip to Ontario, but you're seeing it now while I'm in Ontario because I didn't have time to edit it before I left. And I do want to give you the odd video while I'm gone, just so that you don't think that I stopped doing videos or something. It's a flipper, liner lock. If you're interested in this knife, the full review's coming right now. All right, so here is the flipper, and one of the first things I like to do, I compare the knives in size with the Ontario Rat 1 knife, because a lot of people have this knife. And let's line up those pivot pins right there. And as you can see, very similar in length, just a tiny bit less, and just a tiny bit less on the blade end as well. Whereas the cutting edge, though, is longer. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is the details of this knife. We've got a stonewash blade. They call it a flat grind because it's a flat grind, but it's not a full flat grind. As you can see, there is a area along here that is with the ricasso, this side of the blade, and then the bevel here. So this is actually a very good compromise between the two. I like this a lot because there's enough of a flat spot here that it works to use a sharpening system that has clamps, a nice spot to clamp onto, and yet you've got almost a virtual full flat grind. It's technically a saber grind, I guess. The bevel comes down and the sharpener's choil comes out just barely far enough. If that plunge was more gradual, it would have to come out further, but that's very good right there. And you've got a lot of belly on this knife. And then this little section here, the last inch or so, is a straight edge right there. With the upswept blade, you can see its full thickness until this flat section ends. So there you go, right at that spot where my fingernail is pointing, that's when the blade starts to taper, and it starts tapering to a point. So the tip here is fairly strong because it's a quick, short taper. Small writing on the knife. There's the J1909 and the D2, and right there it says China. And on this side, you've got your CJRB. That's not bad at all. It's better than having big writing all over the place. And the cutting edge is ground quite unevenly. It's like when the guy was sharpening it across, imagine a wheel turning, down towards and then away, It looked like he was doing some of this while he's going across the blade because it's very steep here. So he was like that. And then it's the regular angle. And then it changes again near the tip. So this will be resharpened. One way to see it is actually when you see the light like this and watch me turn it up, you can see that shine work its way across. If you're looking in this area here. See how it works its way across to the end? That's because the angle is changing as you go. That's not a big deal. This is a budget knife. It's what? $39, $39.99 at White Mountain Knives. Amazon has it for $36.61. But of course, at White Mountain Knives, you get 10% off. So that's $35.99. So that's less than Amazon. White Mountain Knives is less than Amazon when you use coupon code CCE, that is. But I'll leave links down below for both places if you want to get one. You can find it in Canada at Warriors and Wonders, also called Blades Canada, for $59.99 Canadian. So $60 Canadian or $36 US, which is cheaper. Of course, $36 US is cheaper than $60 Canadian. You could find it at some AliExpress, maybe sites like that as well, and they'll ship to anywhere in the world. If I can find it at other Amazon sites in other parts of the world, like Germany, the UK, it's not on the Canada site, at least not today. I'll put those links down below as well if they exist, because if you use my Amazon links, you are helping the channel. I earn a tiny bit of a commission, so thank you very much. Talking about the handle now, it's got a nice sort of swept down design, sort of flat here and then sort of angles down, jimping there on the backspacer. And so that makes it comfortable in the hand. It sort of fits in that space very well. The jimping helps with a little bit of grip. And this aluminum section turns into the lanyard hole. And I really, really like this kind of lanyard hole, because it doesn't have, your lanyard doesn't have to come all the way outside and be bulky. And yet with this sort of rooftop shape, it means when you're holding the knife in a reverse grip, it's comfortable because it's on that angle. When you're having it a reverse grip, a pull kind of grip, it's comfortable that way as well. And in your hand for normal grips, with your thumb up, saber grip or fist grip, all of those are fairly comfortable. So this is a very comfortable knife. The liners are inset, they're not skeletonized. The liner lock release is well exposed there. And it's a chamfered edge, so it's very easy to get your thumb in there to close the knife. It works well, at least for me, in the left hand as well. Hopefully, if you're a lefty, it'll work good for you, because you've got holes here for the pocket clip to go lefty style as well. So it's a mostly or somewhat ambidextrous knife. Right hand liner lock, but ambidextrous pocket clips. And, I like the accents. I like that aluminum touch. Makes it seem like a knife that's worth more than it is. Next, let's talk about the pocket clip. It's deep enough this way. You do have those button screws, but it always slides down to the bottom in the pants every time I've tried. The space right there between the steel and the G10, it's way more generous than it needs to be, which means the head of this pocket clip here, they made a little bit bigger than it needs to be as well. They could have made all that just a little bit smaller. It's not hot in the hand when I'm holding it, like the pocket clip doesn't create hot in the hand. The G10, I didn't mention it yet, has a radius here, a proud section, thicker, and then it comes thinner at the edges. Very well rounded. Like I mentioned on the video about the Field Brother, the Amare Field Bro, the edges were all very, clean, crisp edges, and so it got a little bit hot in the hand during extended use. This rounded edges meant I could be cutting for a long time with this thing, and the hands just wouldn't get tired. And it's small enough this way that even small men's hands, medium ladies' hands, you're going to find this knife comfortable in your hands. At least most of you will do. And yet it's long enough that it'll even be good for people that have extra large hands. Maybe not 2X, but my hands are between large and extra large, and look at all that extra real estate there. And that's when I'm choiled up all the way. I sneaked up to the choil with my hand. See, lots of extra room there. For some reason, my left hand seems a little bit bigger, and I think that's because I'm left-handed. And so my left hand, just has more muscle in it and things. Although with most knives, I play with them with my right hand so much that it looks like it's right-handed. It looks like I'm right-handed, I should say. All right, so flipper, G10, upswept. We've got ball bearings in there. Pocket clips right and left, flipper. Alignment, when you close the knife, is a little bit off, at least on mine, and I haven't adjusted it yet. It's off to this side, they don't give you much extra room. If I moved it over just the thickness of a hair, then it's already in the middle. So it's just very, very little bit off, but because it's so narrow in here, it looks like it's tight. It's not touching the sides yet. Let's see if I can get it to focus up here nice and close. So as you can see, it looks very close to touching. And if I push it over, then the other side looks like it's close to touching. So it's not that it's done terribly, it's done that they don't have much room in there, and that's why it looks like it's bad. But so it's a little bit off center. Lockup, it's a little bit later than what would be perfect, but it's not so late that it's bad. It's sort of middling, but not bad at all. There's still going to be lots of life in this knife. Now let's go over all of the dimensions and everything. And while this measuring tape is on the screen, I'm talking about those kind of specs. The weight of the knife, 103 grams, 3.6 ounces. So it's not heavy by any stretch. The sharpness of the factory edge, although it was ground kind of wonky, was very good. 100 best. 200 and less is considered sharp. So this came out very sharp from the factory. It's used now, so it's not quite that sharp now, but I'll sharpen it up very soon. Oh, I'll probably wait until I'm back home from going to Ontario. Not so very soon. Anyhow, measurements. The cutting edge, 9.21 centimeters, 3.63 inches. Blade length, so tip to the closest spot on the handle, 8.77 centimeters, 3.45 inches. The blade thickness, here at the ricasso, the flat sides here by the pivot, 3.22 millimeters. That's 0.127 of an inch. So just a tiny bit over 1/8 of an inch. The blade depth, and I measured about 1 inch up from the sharpness choil, 2.18 centimeters, 0.86 of an inch. The thickness of the edge behind the grind at that same spot where my thumbnail is, 0.51 millimeters, which is exactly 20/1000ths of an inch. Very good. That's the exact measurement that I like to have with knives like this. The grind angles, 19.7 degrees on one side, 23.9 degrees on the other side, and that's, again, at that 1 inch mark. Much steeper angles right close to the sharpness choil, and more shallow angles at the tip. Now for the handle, the G10 section here, and I'm not counting the aluminum. It sticks out just a little bit further. So the handle length, G10, 12.07 centimeters, 4.75 inches. Grip area, it's about 10 centimeters, around 4 inches. The handle thickness, 1.28 centimeters, which is 0.507 of an inch, so half an inch thick. The handle depth, now I'm looking at the widest spot in the grip area, and that's right back here, 2.24 centimeters, 0.88 of an inch. And when the knife is closed, the widest spot, not counting the flipper tab sticking out, is right here, 2.77 centimeters, 1.09 inches. The total length of the knife when the blade is deployed, tip to the end of the aluminum, is 19.6 centimeters, 7.72 inches. So basically 7 3/4 inches long. Since most of my viewers are Americans, I always keep the inches in there. I guess you all understand how that works. I've already given you the price. Amazon $36.61. White Mountain Knives, after your 10% discount, $35.99 US. And in Canada, Warriors and Wonders, $59.99 Canadian. And if I find other links, I'll leave them down below as well. So I like this knife. Does it have any unique features? Well, it's not unique anymore to have an aluminum accent on the pivot ring, but pivot rings aren't super common, but they do happen, of course. And so I like that extra touch without knocking the price way up. You know, $36 US is not bad at all. So it's got some nice touches. Right and left pocket clip, I like that. Other pros that I really like is I like how the handle feels. Like, because the rounded edges, it feels more comfortable in the hand, more natural, more organic, if you will. Very comfortable, and comfortable in reverse grips and everything. But there's one way that it's not very comfortable. In the left hand, it's super comfortable. In the right hand, the index finger doesn't like this spot right here. You've got your liner lock moved over, and then you've got that spot right there. At least in my hand, you know, my flesh gets sort of into there, and the inside edge feels a little bit, so it gets hot in the hand, actually hot right there on the bending part of my index finger when I use it for a long time in my right hand. So lefties, you're going to find this knife more comfortable than righties do. Tiny con, off-center blade, but it's not that far off. I've already explained that. Good sharpness choil. General shape of this knife is very good. I love this grind. I like stonewash. They kept the blade strong by keeping the full thickness until, you know, the last inch of the blade right there. They've done a lot of things right about this knife, and I like it quite a lot. One thing that I might change, some people like a really deep pocket clip, and if they would use that screw there, that body screw, and a second screw hole, they could have put the second screw hole a bit that way, but maybe they could have designed it so that the pocket clip was closer to the tip of the end of the handle. I don't know. This is not bad. Let me demonstrate. I'm almost done cleaning up the house because when we leave, my daughter with her kids, they might be coming to stay here because her husband's got some family nearby and they might use our house as a base. So like I said, it climbs over that easily, and you know, there's way more room here than there needs to be between the pocket clip end and the G10. So it's very easy to come over that. Slides over, goes full depth every time, no problem. And see, you don't have a lot sticking out of that knife. That's just the way it goes. But bright orange might attract some attention. I don't know. I like the orange look, and I don't mind that at all with it sticking out just a little bit. So there you go. This is the Gobi. I didn't even look up what a Gobi is. Is a Gobi a kind of fish? Let me know in the comments below what a Gobi is. I'll let you guys teach me. It's another way to get you guys to give comments. The more comments you leave on my videos, the better the videos do. YouTube, Google basically, lets the video be shown to more people. Well, lets isn't the best word. Promotes the video more often. Like if you get any referrals, you know, if you just click on YouTube, you get a whole page full of choices to watch. The options that go up there are very highly influenced by how many likes videos get and what you've watched in the past. So if you're a knife viewer and somebody else's video got a lot of likes, there's a better chance that their video will get put there. So my videos too are the same way. Of course, genuine comments are what you want to leave, but comments mean an awful lot. I thank you for those. I thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing as well. Hit that bell so that you'll be notified of all my videos. And remember, friends, spend some time outside this summer, like I will be doing, and always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.